Everyone. So today we're focusing on just the playlist details. That's the terminology we call it. Essentially, we are in a playlist called Corporate Info. And today we're just going to talk about how do you add or remove and rearrange the assets within this. So we'll kind of start from the top and kind of work our way down. But essentially, here we go. So Corporate Info is the name of the playlist. I have 40 assets, 33 minutes, and 5 seconds. This playlist is not shared to a facility. So again, depending on how your organization is set up, some facilities and some playlists within those facilities are shared to other facilities. No worries if that's not how your organization is set up. And then we have 6 active assets, 12 inactive, and 22 scheduled. All right, so as you can see right here, this is a list of my assets. Please note that there's pagination down here. So I have 4 pages of assets. Now, at any point, by the way, this items per page, as a default, every time you come into any application in our system that has a table just like this, the default is to show 10, but you can change this from 10 to say 100. Now, when you change that, it is going to save to your user settings. So that is kind of nice. I know it's small, but it's nice because if you're in the playlist a lot and you're managing a lot of playlists, it is kind of a pain in the butt to kind of have to come into each one and always have to click that items per page. It's like, we'll just save it for you. So I think I did 100. So yeah, so they're all kind of on one list now. All right, so what are we seeing here? So first off, if I click on any of the little thumbnail, I'm going to get a preview of that asset. Of course, it's going to let me know if it's active or inactive, right? These two columns are essentially talking to each other. If the time, the duration, and date scheduled, right? It just depends. Am I running in the future? Am I running to a small time block? Is it 4 minutes, 2 minutes, right? So again, all of those 3 columns are essentially talking about the start and end time and all that fun stuff. If I ever want to change the order of anything, so here's Oliver, a cute little puppy. If I want to move him down so he is below our cat named Jax, I can simply do that. By the way, you can just see that I simply dragged and dropped. Again, social media, slide them down, and you can see it's updating instantly. The other way to change, or I guess not really change, but change the order of the assets is, yes, of course, you just saw me like click and drag. The other way is generating it right here, which is in a modal. Everyone seems to be a little bit different on how they want to move assets. So this is just another way. So product meeting, I can slide up to, yeah, maybe above, yeah, test image 2. So again, 2 ways to essentially just move assets. There is absolutely no wrong. It just is a preference thing. A couple other things here. So again, when I select one or multiple assets, now, of course, I can copy them, right? Now I can copy them to another playlist, or I can copy them here. And then same with the remove. So we can remove from this playlist, or if you, again, depending on your organization, you might have assets that are running at multiple playlists. We can also just remove those assets, again, to all the playlists that these 3 assets are running at. A couple other things too, before I dig into the schedule and add content, again, very straightforward here, but as you see, when I hover over this sort of row, we do have a vertical menu. When I select it, I'm given 2 options. Again, one to remove the asset and one to simply just edit the schedule. So again, if you did like one of those quick adds and you're just adding content and you need to set a schedule time to it, or you're like, oh crap, this is the wrong schedule time, essentially you can come in here and edit them. Another thing too, just before I dig into the schedule and the add content, it's just one that kind of gets brought up, I feel like frequently, is when you come into the playlist, right, you're seeing a mixture of inactive, active, right, scheduled. I know some people, they like to kind of filter the way their playlist behaves, or I should say sorts, not really filter, but when you select the column here, so every column kind of has an arrow, by the way. When you select it, you can see right here, here are my active ones, here are my inactive and scheduled. So it's just a little bit easier to read, especially again, if you have like 50 or 60 assets in a playlist, you may need to sort them so you can easily remove, check, change whatever you need to for those particular assets. Okay, so Anyone who watched the playlist landing tutorial, feel free to skip over this because this is going to be a little bit redundant, but I'm going to talk about the schedule content and the add content flow. Okay, so when we talk about content, right, there are a lot of different workflows. Workflows can be as you're starting in Canva and you're exporting those slides as a PNG. And really all you're doing is uploading them into the playlist. Then you have the Adobe, the designers, right? Kind of the same workflow as those Canva users where they're using Illustrator or Photoshop and then they're exporting those as a PNG. You've got your PowerPoint users or your Word doc, Excel. And then we have a system internally that allows you to create content as well. So that's really like four different workflows. And I'm sure there's other softwares out there, by the way, besides Canva and Adobe that allow you to create content. But when we think about content and we think about like how are we wanting them to essentially be managed in a playlist, we have it broken down two ways. One is the schedule content, right? Exactly what it says. You're scheduling the content out, you're putting an end time, you're putting an end date to it, whatever it may be. When I take the schedule content, I really have three options. I have the media file, which means it's the media library. Okay, so anything you upload into our playlist application, it is also going to get added to the media library. It's really just a way for you to retrieve those assets if you ever want to reuse them, 4 months down the road, 6 months down the road, or whatever it really may be. The second option is the video URL, right? So I've got YouTube clips, I've got Vimeo clips. I really just want to have a start and end date to them. And then we have our upload files. So just a little bit of a limitation here on the upload files, only under the schedule. So I just want to make that clear. There's a little bit of a limitation under the schedule content. It's the videos and the documents. So my Canva users, right, when you create them and you export those assets into PNGs, my Adobe users, if you guys have 4 or 5 assets you want to upload to the playlist, you can do a bulk command here, right? You just literally drag and drop. If you have PowerPoints, PDFs, or videos, here's the deal. We cannot, as of right now, go through the schedule workflow for these type of files. So what that means, my friends, is what you need to do is you need to go to the add content, upload files, and upload them that way. It's just a completely different mechanism that is connected under the add. Once you upload your videos, right, and your PowerPoints and all that, you do need to go one by one, then adding the schedule to them. The other way you can do this, now that was just one way I gave you. If you have the videos again, and you have those PowerPoints, you want to schedule them, the other way to do this is to go to your media library on the left-hand side here, go to add, and upload it that way. Now, nothing wrong with this workflow. I just feel like it's extra steps because now I've taken you out of the application. So my recommendation is that if you are in the playlist details page and you have those videos and you have those PowerPoints and you want to quickly add them or schedule them to a playlist, I would just do the add flow and go one by one. All right, going back now to the last part here is the add content button. Anything you do here, you guys, that means that that asset is going to run 24/7. There is no scheduling. That means that it is really up to you to kind of come back and, again, physically remove them. So again, you can retrieve from your media library. You can physically actually create Canva designs in the Reach system. 100% a preference thing. If some people love starting in Canva and exporting it that way, if you don't want to leave the Reach system and just create your Canva design in here, you can do so. Design editor. So this is our backend system that allows you to create content as well. So we do have preset templates as well that you can utilize. We have fonts that you can sort of use as well. Obviously preset text, stock photos, elements, right? You can physically upload backgrounds. So this is really our design editor that, again, allows you to create content as well. So that's one option. And then the other one is just, again, back to that video URL, where it's the YouTube and Vimeos. So again, two directions or two paths here. Do you want to schedule it or do you want to just have it run 24/7? So that is the end of our playlist detail page. If there's anything that was like unclear or I went too fast on something or I did cover something, please let us know, reach out to us. And otherwise, I hope you guys have just a great day. Thank you so much.